The whole college basketball scene is really interesting. There's a lot of good talent all over the place, which is actually surprising.
And everyone but the players gets paid.
Exactly. Dude, I still don't understand it. Like, obviously, we don't, you can tell by our accents that we're not American. So just thinking that these guys are getting pretty much show ponied around.
They have bigger crowds than professional sports here.
Exactly.
They daddy the crowds that come here.
And the amount of sponsorship they have is like they're sponsored by literally everything. It's like State Farm, blah, blah, blah. Like all these like insurance companies, alcohol brands and stuff to sponsor college basketball. It's insane the amount of money there is in it. And like coaches get paid heaps of money.
Yeah.
And like the players get paid nothing. And the big thing about them getting paid nothing is because the notion around it is like they're student athletes and that their scholarship is already like payment enough. Getting free education.
You see, I remember I watched something on the John Oliver show.
Yeah.
He made a really good example. He said, because they were talking about Richard Sherman, and Richard Sherman was talking about his schedule as a student athlete. And it was like ridiculous. It was like wake up, study film, study for school, breakfast, training, workout, class, lunch, training, film, study, dinner, training, sleep, repeat. And it was like, and then obviously you have to fly around to play the games.
Yeah, so that you already miss out on actual school time.
Exactly. So it's like your payment is your school. But not only that, if you don't do well enough in certain classes, you get hassled by the media, you get held back. And so John Oliver basically said something along the lines of, this is the setup. If you came into work and your boss said, we're not going to pay you, but we're going to give you the remuneration in the form of free musical lessons.
Yeah.
Now, you have to learn the musical lesson, and if you don't learn music efficiently, then we're going to punish you for that. But if you learn well, good on you, even though you're never going to use it because you're not going to become a musician. You're just going to move up the ranks in this like corporate office or whatever.
Exactly, yeah.
It's useless to them. If they're going to be a professional athlete, it's not that useful.
And the thing like interesting is why I think it was is it Adrian Foster,
Arian
Foster, right? He was on the Joe Rogan podcast. You can look it up. And he was talking about his actual schedule, and he wanted to study space. He wanted to study astrology. But then what happened...
Test out if the world was really flat or not.
Yeah, exactly, But apparently he wasn't allowed to study the things that he wanted because it didn't align with his schedule. You can't even study what you want. You study like a basic sort of degree or whatever. So you can't even study like what you're actually passionate about, which is insane. So not only is the education so tough for you to even like grasp, because not only are you competing with students that are not doing anything, but you're competing with like your actual sport as well.
Yeah,
which is like, and you can't even do what you want.
Even more, if you actually complete the degree, you're seen as a 4-year player, which in the NBA is like draft suicide. It's like just asking for your draft stock to plummet.
Yeah.
It's so like, it's pretty dangerous, especially when you consider that the swimmer in the Olympics, that chick swimmer for America who dominated.
Oh, yeah.
She couldn't get any sponsorships because she was at like Stanford or something.
Yeah, she was swimming it like at a university before.
Keep it in the Illuminati.
The college
or the college Illuminati.
The college Illuminati.
Whatever that means. But yeah, like there was this, I think this kicker for a college team. He did trick shots on YouTube. Trick shots. And they were thinking about forcing him to take his videos down or give the money to the college or something.
There was an actual guy that was playing college football, and he was doing YouTube videos as well, but he was doing like sort of vlogs, and he was showing that like what he did in a day, like a day in the life, like, oh, this is what I do. I go wake up, study, like much like the Richard Sherman sort of schedule, and it would show that. And then the university said you cannot do that because you're monetizing technically off the sport, the college sport. And he's like, what is this BS? Like, why? It's like I'm basically an entrepreneur. I'm doing my own thing. And then the NCAA was like, no, you can't do that. That's against the rules. And so then he's like, screw it. And then he forgoed his scholarship to focus on YouTube.
Did he still?
I think he still goes to college, but he pays for it obviously in full.
See, that's like
the worst part is like it would be cool if like they weren't monetizing so heavily on them. Like they sell their jerseys, they sell their naming rights.
Can you buy college sports jerseys?
Yeah, easily.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, you can buy a Marvin Bagley jersey easily, like a number.
And he'll get 0 cents of that money.
Dude,
revenue.
If people are really interested in the whole college sports dynamic and how people don't get paid, watch the Fab Five documentary. Such an interesting documentary about Michigan, the Michigan Fab Five, which included Chris Webber, Jalen Rhodes, Juwan Howard, and a bunch of other players, 2 other players. And basically, they were like the face. People were ordered biographies about them and stuff and sold it.
What?
And they weren't able to make any money. The college was making so much money, and it was like such an impactful scene in the actual documentary where Jalen Rose goes, "Yeah, everyone else was making money off the Fab Five except for us, and my mom couldn't even turn the lights on at my house."
See, that's crazy.
And that's the most insane thing about it.
At least give the money as a donation.
Exactly, but then. And when you find out at the end of the documentary, you find out that Chris Webber actually took money from an agent. Chris Webber took money from an agent during his college, which is illegal.
It's probably fair enough, though.
Well, it's like that Rick Pitino situation in Louisville with the guy.
We've spoken about this before.
Yeah, it was like a top 10 talent. I think his name is Brian Bowen. I think Brian Bowen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he was like a top 10, top 20 ESPN 100 player in his class, and then he got paid $100,000 or something to go play at Louisville, and then they caught it. The FBI started investigating.
Holy!
And it's like, in a realistic sense,
he never played for the team.
And not only that, I'm pretty sure the money that he's generating for the university is far greater than $100,000. Far greater.
Yeah, it says Brian Bowen is a bargain at $100K.
Exactly. And
that's crazy. So you pay a player $100K, which is a lot to an 18-year-old, and they're a bargain, and you still aren't allowed to do that.
And the thing is, it's not these athletes will have granted their whole lives to get this opportunity, and they share with their families. A lot of them, it's not like they take the money and they just buy Lambos and just Versace shirts and stuff. They give a lot of their money back to their parents, so they can actually survive, because so much dedication and so much sacrifice is made by the parents to make sure that their child is in a position to actually succeed as an athlete and get this college scholarship.
See, I think the whole point of a scholarship is supposed to be a bit benevolent.
Yeah,
there is no benevolence in these scholarships.
Exactly, it's super ludicrous. And again, talking about Arian Foster, when he said that he couldn't even study what he wanted to study, that just then what's the point then? It's
especially because the NBA, the player has to go to college.
Yeah,
you're doing zero favors to them. Like Ben Simmons, he got nothing out of his college.
He said he hated it. He said that it was useless. He didn't go to class.
He didn't go to class because he was in the gym practicing, so he got scolded for not going to class, and then. If the rest of the team doesn't play well, he gets scolded, his draft stock falls, he gets criticized.
There's so much pressure on these players, it's insane.
Everyone but him won out of that.
Yeah. It's really insane and how ludicrous the whole sort of college sports situation is. But
that's why when you see players who get paid, you're like good on them. When you see coaches who care about their players, they're like, oh, you see those star players they got to coach, they're like, dude, myself and my roommate, we can't eat.
Yeah.
And the coach goes, okay, well, he's, $100. That's good. That shouldn't be seen as something negative.
Exactly. College sports is so big in regards, financially. And,
where does the money go?
It goes back to the NCAA, which is ironic because they're a non-profit organization.
Yeah, but where does the money go at that? Where's the top of the pyramid?
I think it goes back to the universities.
And they just spend it.
The universities make the money, and then obviously they get a lot of most of the sponsorships are shoe deals. So they'll be let's say Duke is sponsored by Nike, so Nike pays the coach who is Mike Krzyzewski. He gets the Nike money.
Really? Yes. Is it just the coach, or is it your college?
The staff makes the money, and then obviously the college as well. But the college pays the staff a lot of money. College coaches get upwards of $5 million. It's really insane.
But they're also part of the thing. They're kind of there to do that. They're generating revenue.
I think it's
Harbaugh in Michigan. He's there.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh gets.
He's not a bad guy in that situation. He's getting paid because he's generating value. But it just seems pretty much there's only a rare few people who are actually generating the value who get a cent in payment.
Yeah. No one gets paid, and it's insane. But